So welcome to our episode where we're covering events in Colombia, but we don't have an entry so don't know something like that. On the 13th of May, the American 6th Army started a counter-offensive towards Jack, defended by 4 divisions of Colombian 8th Army. 16th Army's 10 divisions attacked Jack on the 15th, but the 4 divisions fought bravely. Then it was on Playo and another 2 divisions to make sure Jack held out for a while. This made General Ivan Davis skip Jack to make sure the 6th Division wouldn't break out. He also stationed 8 recently arrived battalions from the Guatemala's army. This was a typo, by the way. This is me adding this on later on, but that was a typo. I meant to say Nicaragua at the time, but I made a mistake and typos. Moving on. Nicaragua had entered the Allied forces 2 days earlier to secure the San Andreas Islands, which were owned by Colombia. They were given that if they committed troops to the war. Jacques bypassed. The Americans reached the border on the 20th. 2 days later, Panama's First Army broke through, pushing from the Visa all the way to the border. 2nd and 3rd Army also made progress, putting the towns of Capujana under siege on the 23rd and re-establishing the original border on the 25th. Capujana capitulated on the 30th, and on the 5th, the 3rd Army were at the border with the neighbouring province of Antioquia. On the 8th, Jacques fell after a Nicaraguan spy blew up the town hall. Fearing the flank attack, the 6th Division sent 2 divisions to find out what the heck happened. Seeing that the Nicaraguans attacked, overwhelming the unprepared defenders who were more concentrating on their flank. This drew out the Colombians, re-establishing all territory in Panama. On the 9th Army of Colombia broke through using the Choco Bulge, but before surrounding the army, American 6th Army appeared, stopping the attack and sending them retreating all the way to Dorado. Meanwhile, in the Cheda province, 2nd Army started their attack on the 12th of May, capturing Isla Raton, Cristo and Puerto Carindo in the first 3 days. The 1st Colombian Army tried a quick counter-offensive on the 18th, which failed, and territory from near Uribe to Neri was lost. Uribe just managed to fend off an attack, so as you can guess, San Fernando de Trebo was captured. By the 25th, Mavicure fell in the neighbouring Galena province. We'll do that province next. Not much happened until the 5th, when the breakthrough was happened in Rida and Nerida, when Itibia was captured. Meanwhile, progress in the Parque National Natural Altiplano continued as 8th Infantry, 19th Infantry retreat after a possible outflanking when a push towards Vigo Finuria. Pacos comes close before being ported. By the way, Guinea was the only province where Venezuela made progress before the 9th, with no breakthrough in Mauricia, Norte de Santerre, Cesar, and El Guaia. Meanwhile, in Guaia, as you know, Mavicure, Moro, and Alnay fell, but also on the 1st, a push into Leeds cut off into Samaria. Despite being in Brazil, the Samarian Peninsula was cut off. This pinned in 2 divisions of 10th Army. Venezuelan 1st Army used this to overrun Puerto Colombia, and seen the next day, while a massive push on the 7th captured Lapijana, Antigua and Santa Lucia. On the 7th, until we arrived on the 9th of June 2023. Prime Minister of Peru, Dina Boluarte, made announcements. 2 months ago, we received news of a silent troop mass in Choco province, Colombia. This came true, and that same month, Colombia invaded Panama. Our nation must react to that threat, and today we begin that reaction. That reaction starts at 15:38 p.m. in Amazonas province. A quick attack over the Pacaras River, quickly encircling Nikitia, which surrendered, realizing a fight would just be futile. A breakthrough between Flodia Agosto and Puerto Tumico. At this point, Peruvian 9th and 11th Infantry were attacking 7th Army and were overwhelming their defences by the 21st. El Infante Fiordi de Ascdo, Petro Torino, Santi del Historico, Don Ciago, Berber, Petro Tolima, San Salvador, Materio, Petro Lopez, Petro Pupina, Petro El Robinino, Vigo Fena, Vigo Palma, with Brazil confirming no entry in the war. 3rd Army arrived and stalled the attack. On the 23rd, a bulge was formed towards Tolima B, with its capture on the 26th. 4 days later, on the 30th, Amachoca surrendered, and a populist revolt saw La Choca come over to the Peruvian side. In Putumayo, Ecuadorian 1st Army got bogged down with no breakthrough till the 23rd, when Petro Assis led on to La Homega, San Pedro Assis, Miga and Verona. Peruvian broke through 4 days later, capturing Buena Vista, San Antonio, Petra Libana, Vania, Soporutas and Canal de Duca. In Tolima, Ecuador gradually ground down the Colombians by the 22nd, capturing Lorente, El Cosendo, Tocotay, Albania, don't judge, that is not the country, Tumico, Alfonso Lopez, Picardy, San Jose, Compteg, Indiana, George Isfana, Gatan, Payan and Balcos. By the 28th, Chuguez, Ipis, Chumbay had also fallen. Similarly, in Venezuela, attack had stalled due to the invader pocket, so no gains were made, safely annihilating the pocket on the 28th. But in Choco, a major breakthrough on the 10th sent the Colombians packing. Gerudo fell on the 11th, Mutas the 17th, Al Valle 18th, Ruki and Incuna 22nd, Arusi 24th, Ismini 25th, Presido 26th, and despite not being in Choco, even Di Barrodo the 28th. In Colombia itself, at this point in time, there is a massive shock as the Colombians face a massive revolt in their hands on the capital. Opposition parties rise against the president and form nationalist parties, with millions of people joining each side. After a march on the capital, Georgy Pastrov has to announce his resignation, handing over the party to the other sides. He announces this, in doing so. My fellow Colombians, it is with a heavy heart that I announce my resignation as the president of this great nation. I have decided to step down from my office in order to avoid further bloodshed and violence in our country. You all know that I have acted in the best interest of Colombia, defending its sovereignty and dignity against foreign aggression. As you all know, I have been the victim of a cowardly assassination attempt by a guerrilla group sponsored by Panama. This is not true, there was no assassination attempt on his life, sponsored by Panama, and it's just a false coup. We didn't mention this in the episode when it declared war because it's just not mentioned until now. Our treacherous neighbour who has been plotting against us for years. You all know that have been responded to this attack with courage and determination, launching a war against Panama and its allies, who have been supporting terrorism and drug trafficking in our region. You all know that I fought for peace and justice, not for glory or power. Yeah, right. Well, probably what the Colombian people are going at this point. But you also know that this war has taken a toll on our people, our economy and our democracy. You also know that this war has been used by my enemies, both inside and out of the country, to undermine my legitimacy and authority. You also know that this war has been exploited by some sectors of society, taking advantage of the chaos and the instability to incite riots and protests in every single city, demanding my resignation and the end of the war. I tried to dialogue with these sectors, to listen to their grievances and address their concerns, but they have refused to negotiate, to compromise, or to respect the rule of law. They've only sought to overthrow me by force, to impose their will on the majority of the people, and to install a puppet government that could serve the interest of our enemies. I cannot allow this to happen. I cannot betray the trust and the mandate that you gave me when you elected me as your president. I cannot let Colombia fall into the hands of the traitors and criminals, but I cannot continue this war that is tearing us apart. I cannot ignore the suffering and the pain of our people. I can also cannot deny the reality and the challenges that we face as a nation. That is why I have decided to resign. That is why I have chosen to put an end to this conflict. That is why I have agreed to hand over power to a transitional government that will oversee the free and fair elections as soon as possible. This is not an easy decision. This is not a decision I make lightly. This is the decision that breaks my heart. But this is also a decision that gives me hope. Hope that Colombia will overcome this crisis. Hope that Colombia will heal its wounds. Hope that Colombia will remain united and strong. I ask you all to support this decision. I ask you all to respect this decision. I ask you all to honour this decision. I thank you all for your loyalty and your love. Thank you all for your courage and sacrifice. I thank you all for your faith and trust. I love you, Colombia. I love you all. I love Colombia. God bless you. God bless Colombia. This ends actions for this month, as all territories that have been gained by the former sides are all recognised as the territories they gained by the Colombia transitional government. They also agreed to pay war indemnities to each of the countries that have invaded them, and have also agreed to pay Panama twice the amount of war indemnities than any other country. This is the end of this episode, and next month we will go into more detail on the invasion of Taiwan, and also in 2 months' time we'll go into a bit more detail on the Colombian aftermath, and hopefully we will see the end of major conflict in Colombia in the future. Good night.